Hello there. My name is Mo with my co-host Corey. We are The Real Guys, and this is The Real Show with 2 E's. Today, we are jumping into a fantasy adventure for the ages. As always, I'm calling my co-host Corey. How are you doing today, Corey?
I'm doing very well, thank you very much.
Aye! Will,
Yes.
perhaps, but ting. We're
Yes.
just a comedy duo, aren't we?
Ting.
Ting, yeah.
It's tish.
Oh, I always say ting.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Anyway, ting.
Yeah, right.
You can watch us on our YouTube version, The Real Show, Real with 2 E's, or listen to us on Amazon, Spotify, Podcast, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, wherever you get your podcast, we're there, listen to us. But today, we've already given it away. Corey, we are reviewing
Wllow.
Wllow,
The original
1988,
Wllow.
the original Wllow.
The film.
In preparation for our review of the
TV show.
series.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just come out on Disney+.
But still
Wllow.
going on Disney+.
Is it still going?
I think so,
Okay.
but as of recording, it's still going.
All right.
When it comes out, it might be finished.
Sure. But this is the first original film. This is the
Yes.
Warwick Davis vehicle that is Tenable. I mean Wllow. Wllow 1988.
Don't diss Tenable.
I'm not going to diss. You know what? Tenable was going to be a segment in this show, but I guess we're going to go to the Tenable segment right now.
Okay.
Of me talking about how much I like Tenable and how much I feel like Tenable is possibly more of a Warwick Davis vehicle than this film is.
I mean,
He comes out in a nice suit. He's
does.
like, let's get some people to talk about answers on a board, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I don't know. I
Do you like
like Tenable.
Tenable? Do you like Tenable?
I watch it. I don't watch it like...
I don't watch it most of the time because
Yeah.
obviously, you know, I go to work and it's not on when
it's
I'm
not,
there.
It's not an everyday thing. But
It's like a daytime quiz show.
if it happens to be on,
Uh-huh.
if I'm like surfing with channels, Tenable, I'm like, yeah, I'll stick that on. Have I ever got an all ten? No.
No one ever has.
No, I have not.
And White Davis always likes to plug his own his other works,
Yeah.
which is funny.
Um,
I find that's kind of like a gimmick with Warwick Davis.
it is.
This film came off the back of Return of the Jedi.
Correct.
When George Lucas was working with Warwick Davis, who was a very young lad at that time,
Yes.
and was so taken with him that he decided to write him his own film, give him his own cinematic adventure, which
Yeah.
became Wllow. Story
Correct.
by George Lucas, directed by Ron Howard, who was a friend of George Lucas from American Graffiti, and now they work together at Lucasfilm. A lot of the Lucasfilm. You'll notice if we didn't review it, I don't think, but we did watch the opening few episodes of the Industrial Light and Magic documentary. Did you watch it?
Yes.
I think you did as well, didn't you?
Yes. Before Phantom Menace, I think.
Yeah, for 9 minutes. Yeah. We never got around to reviewing those episodes, but we did watch the documentary.
Yes.
And most of those names on the documentary is on the credit. Did you recognise them?
Yes.
Are on the credits of Wllow.
Yes.
And I recognised them instantly. I thought, oh, they're the guys from the Untitled documentary. That's cool to see they carried through. Because obviously Lucasfilm was a big, eminent studio. They employ a lot of, and there was a time where they just talked about just being a gang of people in an office somewhere, you know, painting TIE fighters.
I mean, pretty much.
Mm.
But
And on Wllow there, you know, strapping rubber masks to Rottweilers.
yeah, I didn't know this existed until
I
recently.
brought it up.
Well, until you brought it up, and also until I've now see all the time on TV the
Yeah.
advert for the TV series.
Yeah, exactly. You've summoned it almost.
On Disney Plus. And I was like, oh, this is a thing? I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And you went and watch it, and I thought, okay. Right, okay, I'll give it a go.
Excellent. So this is Corey's first impression. Now, this is not my first impression of Wllow, the film. I knew about it for a long time because of Warwick Davis. I'm a fan of Warwick Davis. He's a great actor. I'm a big admirer of his work.
Yep.
Obviously, you know, love Star Wars. Wiki the Ewok, great character, great little Ewok.
Yes.
I'm a fan of Warwick Davis and his journey as well throughout, from just a little kid to being this sort of cult star, this cult acclaimed star, Warwick Davis.
He's a household name.
Household name. His journey to becoming a household name. I'm a big fan of him and his work. So I knew about Wllow for a while. I knew the basic premise. I knew his role in it. What I like to say is I've never seen the film from start to end.
Yeah.
And this is me viewing the film from start to end. Yes. But this is Corey's first time exposure to basically the whole thing.
Yep.
So I feel like you have to take the lead on this, Corey. You have to. Take us away.
Okay, so we'll start with the film. Well, we'll start with kind of character-wise. Wllow is a... Where's it gone? Because I've got the whole list up of what everyone is.
Yes. Fancy races and species.
Yes.
Here we go.
So, Wllow is a Nelwyn.
A Nelwyn in Nelwyn Valley, is it?
Yes. Nelwyn Valley, correct. I love how the film starts with, like, somewhat cliche thing of baby gets pushed down river,
Yes.
ends up somewhere else.
Kung Fu Panda 2.
Kung Fu Panda 2.
There's another thing that did that.
I was gonna say Ice Age 1. Is that
Yeah,
how they
Ice
get
Age
the baby?
1. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because the humans are getting attacked by the saber-toothed cats.
Dragon Quest 11 for all you video game fans.
Yeah.
Does that. And I thought, because normally it then goes like 10 years later or 20 years, and it'd be the baby grown up. Does not do that in this.
No, the baby is the character that is taken by the
Yes. Baby.
the evil queen, Queen Balmorda.
Yeah.
She is out for a quest for ultimate power, and to do that, she needs to sacrifice this baby with the mark, special magic
Correct,
mark
because-
on the arm
Yes.
to achieve whatever she wants to turn.
Because the baby with the mark is the one that's going to be born and like overthrow
her. Yes.
Yes.
So she must stop that by sacrificing this baby. She
Correct.
grounds up all the pregnant mothers. The baby is born. They find the baby with the perceived special mark, but they're shepherded away by the midwife.
Yes.
Carries the baby away and sets the baby away onto. I like the chase with the dogs. That was very cool. I like nice action opening. Then sets the baby off on the raft in the river. Floats down the stream.
Yep.
To the Nulwyn. I want to get that right.
Good old Nelwyn village.
Nelwyn Valley to the village.
Yes. Found by Warwick Davis's kids.
Warwick Davis's children.
Then followed by Warwick Davis.
Who plays the character Wllow Ufgood. Ufgood. Yes.
Who's then kind of like signalled away to whatever the guy's name is. I forgot his name.
Oh yeah, he's unhappy. Sort of. I thought it was like his landlord or something like that. It's like his boss is very unhappy with him
because like you owe me money or whatever. Did you steal those seeds from me or whatever it is?
Your harvest isn't gonna come up. Ufgood, you've got it. That guy was like completely. That guy was very entertaining to watch. And then
his wife finds it. She keeps the kid. Wllow doesn't want to keep the kid, and then very quickly he
doesn't want the kid because Wllow is a job. He's a man of the people.
Exactly. He knows. He's like, right, something bad's going to happen, and they can blame me for it, and we can't have that.
He's
Throw
a
it down
magician.
the river.
He goes to the Magic Fair,
where
Kenny Baker has a cameo role. Did you spot him? Did you spot him in the band?
I did not.
I did. R2D2 there. Kenny Baker. This has got a lot of. We're okay to call them dwarves, aren't we?
Yeah.
Small people who are not.
Yeah.
Under a certain height. I think we're okay to say dwarf.
Sure.
They hired a lot of dwarves for this film.
Yes.
Warwick Davis said it was probably the most ever hired for a film. Over 240 dwarf actors for this film.
Yeah.
And the big crowd scenes, there's loads. People debate that Peter Dinklage is in this. A young Peter Dinklage is in this.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. But he won't be very old on this.
No.
Time, but he is in this, apparently. A young Peter Dinklage is in this, apparently. He's somewhere. He's uncredited, but he's somewhere. And Kenny Baker is in this as well. He's one of the members of the band.
You know what? That whole scene.
I thought it was really wholesome and fun.
Scene.
Yeah.
So much.
It's so fancy to me.
Well, the thing is, it is, but it's not. Because here comes my...
He's adjusting his glasses.
My methodical... Yeah, no, thank you, audio listeners. Adjusting glasses. Here's my mythology / real life thing. These things.
This is a great segment on the show we like to call Corey's mythology / life thing. Adjust glasses. Corey's mythology and life thing.
Thank you. This happened technically in real life. This is a thing, right? This is a full-on proper like pagan festival that people used to do and still do in some areas today, which is great because you're mixing fantasy with actual. Again, like last week's episode for the Batman, you're bringing in real life things and you're mixing it, and it's great. I love that.
Go on, Corey. Just tell us more, Corey.
Well, you've got like so every year in the pagan calendar, you have the solstices, which is what we would call Christmas, and we don't really have one in summer. Pagan does. It's like the longest day of the year is the summer solstice. And you celebrate by having festivals and music and dancing, and do they have the flagpole that you run around, and lots of music and drums and kind of singing and stuff like that. I don't know if they have a magician who makes a pig disappear. That might be a bit eccentric and a bit of a, license.
Creative liberties.
Yes. But that is a realistic thing that has happened before, and I love that. I love when anything, like we've spoken before with Moon Knight and stuff like that, where you bring in real life stuff and you add it to the world just to give it that bit more depth. And I love that because also it shows that like even though people like Wllow and the landlord man don't get along. He's sat there watching him do magic and he's enjoying himself. He's waiting for him to mess up.
Yeah.
But he's having a good time.
Sitting there, he's eating his chicken wings, whatever he was doing.
Yeah.
He's having a good time. It sounds like fun festivities, but they're there for a reason.
Yes.
Wllow wants to be
an apprentice.
Apprentice to a sorcerer.
Yes.
And the great sorcerer comes along
Yes.
on his awesome carriage over here, wherever he
Yeah.
arrives, and he says, I'm going to hold out my hand,
Yes.
and for a finger you must touch.
Yes.
And when you touch the correct finger, you become
There's
my apprentice.
3 people, and
Yeah.
he asks them what finger can like give power to the world
the
or
most
something.
magic.
Yeah.
And I was like, surely it's your thumb. I
was
thought about that
thinking
initially.
thumb.
Yeah, I was thinking thumb. Because finger, thumb.
I was thinking thumb because whenever, and here comes a real life stuff again.
Okay.
Whenever you meditate, your thumb goes on top of the fingers because your thumb is the most powerful, so it always goes on top.
Right, okay.
We were both wrong.
We were both wrong. That wasn't here at all. However, Wllow chooses the wrong finger.
They all choose the wrong one.
No one's going to be the apprentice to the sorcerer this
No
year.
apprentice this year.
No apprentice this year. He rings his bell, but then the hell dogs, over there called, the hellhounds attack.
Yes.
And it's up to the defenders of the village to take it out with some spears and some pikes and some big pitchforks.
They're all defending themselves. Wllow thankfully saves his daughter.
Gets his daughter, yeah. But
His
then
wife is fine.
they realise they're attacking the babies.
Yeah.
They attack like a crib or something.
Yes.
They go after the babies. And it's like, oh no, the baby. He runs home, but his wife's fine.
Wife is completely fine.
With the baby. It's like, oh goodness.
And
And then
then
he
they-
brings the baby to the town meeting,
Yes.
and they say, this baby must be sent away. You must take it to the cross. We can't have it in our peaceful village. But the sorcerer goes, Wllow Offgood must
Yes.
go. I don't know, I'm doing my Yoda impression there.
Well, no, he does. He does probably one of my favorite parts of the film,
Right.
which is this.
The bones!
Yes,
Is it the bones?
I love this sorcerer because
Must
he's
consult the bones!
he's sat there, right? He's this kind of hunchback guy, and he's got like this weird look in his face. He's got one eye open like this. He's just like, oh, and he's like, right.
He looks like that all the time.
He does. And he's like, I'm gonna consult the bones and.
And these bones are made out to be like a massive thing,
Yeah.
right? These bones are hyped up by the people.
like-
The guy goes, I must consult the bones. Everyone's like, oh, the bones. And the guy goes,
The bones tell me nothing.
oh, and everyone's like, whoa, no. Everyone's like in states of disarray. And I'm like,
He's like, do you have any love for the baby? Yes, I do. The bones have spoken.
the bones are spoken. The bones
So
are spoken.
good.
I love that segment. It's
So good.
amazing.
Because then I'm thinking, okay, right, is magic like non-existent, and this guy is just like
This guy's making it up.
blagging the whole
But the
thing.
thing,
But it's not.
The acorns work. Hey.
He throws a thing and a bird flies off.
Yeah.
Go where the bird flies. It's going towards the village. Follow the river.
I feel like that guy's magic might be a bit sketchy.
Yeah, it might be a bit weird.
But that guy's magic might be a bit sketchy. But everyone else seems to be.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that whole
For
section.
the fact that he's literally in it for like 5-10 minutes at the start, and like
he
right at the end.
steals it. That guy does steal it.
It's really good.
The Norwin Wizard, or his name is. I bet he's got a name. but-
I'm trying to find out, but everyone's got really weird names. It's really hard to
Okay.
figure out who's who.
Look at the wiki.
That's what I'm
might
on.
tell you. Oh. Look at the Norwin village. As they say, people who live in the. Wllow is sent off with his friends. The landlord man does go, and his
Yes.
guards, and his friend Migosh
Gosh.
also goes as well with the baby.
Yes.
They're walking on the way, and they're walking through there's some great landscape shots, by the way.
There is fantastic.
Cinematography is very good. Other
Yes.
than great map paintings, they had some great locations. I saw like New Zealand was named, and like England and sort of parts of France were named as well in the shooting. So there must have been great landscape shots of mountains
Yes.
and rivers and big countryside. For some reason, I love fantasy countryside. I don't know why. Not like actual countryside,
Yeah.
but like fantasy. Like anytime the Fellowship of the Ring are walking through a big field, I'm like, oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like I love fantasy countryside. Like if I made a fantasy series, they never leave the field. They just walk around the fields all the time. Because I feel like it's so fancy. Just big open stretches of grass.
Yeah.
Just big open stretches of just tall grass to wading through the tall grass. You know.
High Aldwin is his name.
High Aldwin.
There you
Okay.
go. No, the real life look of this
Right. Okay.
is great.
Yeah. I was talking about like the forests.
Yes.
The forests. The mountainscape. The water. It all feels so. I love a great fantasy world. A greatly constructed fantasy world is very pleasing to me. That's why I think so highly of Wllow. They get halfway there,
Yes.
and they arrive at the crossroads, which is
which is where they're supposed to go.
to drop off the baby, to give
They
the
need
baby
to
to
find
someone.
a normal human.
What are they called? The
The Daikini.
Daikinis, which are like
To
people.
find a Daikini
Yeah.
to give the baby to, and then they can head back home.
Yes.
And they do. They
find Mad Mardigan
Yeah,
in a cage.
in a cage.
In a prisoner's cage. Mad Mardigan, who's played by Val Kilmer.
Yes, very well.
Yes. Well, there's perhaps a reason for that. I did spoil this
Yes,
joke I was
you spoiled
planning.
yourself, yes.
I spoiled myself because we were talking before the recording and I mentioned it. But I was going to say that Val Kilmer's dialogue doesn't really add much to the film. And then I was going to mention that's because he ad-libbed it all. Or most of it was ad-libbed.
Yep.
But that's why his dialogue seems very... It seems very real dialogue because it's probably what he was saying at the time.
Yes.
He was given some limited direction by Ron Howard. Just say, just be mad at him because he's a peck or whatever. Say that.
Yep.
And it's like, I can't. And White Davis stands up and goes, don't call me a peck. And then Val Kilmer goes, peck, peck, peck.
Yeah.
He keeps saying it over and over again at White Davis. White Davis goes, just frowns at him.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is very much... He wasn't given much there.
No.
But he makes the most of it, which is the best thing.
He does. And there comes a point where everyone leaves. Except Wllow.
Well, they encounter an army arrives.
That's after they've left.
Okay, all right, okay.
So they all leave.
After with the guy we don't know what his name is, the landlord man and his guards all decide to leave.
Wllow stays
And Migosh stays as well. That's when the army arrives.
Correct.
But they won't take the baby because they're marching to war.
Exactly.
Then a man turns up who I swear for the first few minutes I saw him was Pat McAfee. But he wasn't. He looked like dead with a beard.
Yeah.
He looked like dead like Pat McAfee. And I could
Yeah.
not get it out of my head how much he looked like him. He's not, obviously.
No, it's not.
But he's a dead ringer.
Yeah.
He's a dead ringer for Pat McAfee, who is an American football player and professional wrestling commentator.
Yes.
Anyway, it wasn't Pat McAfee, by the way. But I thought it was for a while. And he knows Mad Mardigan. And he's like, I'm not letting you free, Mad Mardigan. You're a dangerous criminal.
Yep.
And he doesn't take the baby either.
No.
That character's called Eric, I think his name is.
Yes, but spelled A-I-R-K.
Excellent. Eric and his army head off,
Yes.
leaving Mad Mardigan with Wllow. So Wllow has to free Mad Mardigan.
Correct.
So they can go to the castle to find this...
they freed Mad Mardigan so they
Right.
can give the baby to him and they can head home.
Yes.
'Cause they're like,
he does
right.
take the baby.
He does.
And he heads off.
They leave.
Saying he's going to take care of it.
Yeah.
And then doesn't feed it and wants to drink its water and its
Exactly.
milk.
And Wllow head home, but we're going to be heroes.
So,
we're going to go home.
heroes. But
Doesn't
then
happen.
they get kidnapped by the brownies, who are these little... No, they're not dwarves.
They're like, I don't know what you'd call them.
mini people.
They're literally
they're tiny, like little
probably
thumb-sized
about
people.
like 15 centimeters
tall.
if that.
Yeah, and they've got little spears and little hats,
Yeah.
and they're all running around.
Yes.
And they pray to the sort of sun goddess, whatever
Yeah.
her name is, the big face in the sky. They kidnap Wllow and Amigosh, but they realise they've stolen the baby. No, they've stolen the baby, haven't they?
They've stolen the baby.
Have stolen the baby because
Yeah.
they took it off Mad Mardigan.
Correct. And then they kidnap them too.
Then
And
they
then
kidnap them
they are told to free them.
Free them by their lady goddess,
Yes.
who says, "You have a great destiny, Wllow. You must take this wand
Correct.
and become a great
We're
sorcerer."
going to take this wand. This baby is yours.
By the way, George Lucas loves this. George Lucas loves the prophesized hero. He can't get enough of it.
Yeah.
He did it so much, he did it 3 times.
Yeah.
He did it once in Star Wars, he did it once in the prequel series where they were chosen one thing.
Yeah.
He did it again in this.
Yeah.
He can't help himself. He did it in THX 1138 as well,
Yeah.
if you've ever seen that film.
So I like how during this whole thing, where Wllow goes, right, I need to deliver this baby on my own, and Amigosh just goes home.
Migos leaves.
Yeah.
You know what? Migos is the real hero.
He's like,
I feel like
I'm going to go
Migos
home.
Bowed out gracefully, knew his place, knew he was out of his depth. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go kick my feet up, Wllow.
I thought we were going to get a Lord of the Rings thing where he's going to come in like, you can't go alone. He's going to, but nope, doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. Migos goes home. Turns up at the end of the film.
Yeah.
Migos, what were you doing? I don't know.
Yeah.
I was at home, put my feet up,
I was at home.
resting.
Yeah. So they go off looking for a lake
Yes.
because they're looking for
A witch or a
they're
lady?
looking for I think it's a female sorcerer.
Yeah, if you want a sorcerer.
Been exiled. She's on an island and lake,
Uh-huh.
which I thought would be a really like a pond because I thought they're really small. They think it's a lake. It's
Yeah.
not. It's actually a massive lake. But before they get to a lake, it starts to
Go to the
rain.
tavern.
So they go in a tavern. They're sat there.
It's your classic fantasy. You know, I love
is.
this. It's your classic fantasy tavern, brutes and brawling and knocking back ale, whatever they're doing.
Thing that I
Mead,
find really funny.
drinking the mead, like, oh,
Yeah.
God.
This happens all the time in this film. I know that like Warwick Davis is smaller than the average human.
Right, okay. The average man.
The brownies are
Smaller than the average man,
Yeah.
Warwick Davis.
and like so obviously their weight is different.
Yes.
And there's a lot in this film where one of the brownies is falls in love with a cat briefly because of a love potion.
Yeah.
The cat meows and the brownie flies in the air.
Yeah.
At one point,
Maybe they can jump really high. You don't know
Possibly.
their physiology.
Wllow, I forgot why, but he gets blown backwards
Yeah.
into the room behind him for some
Yeah.
reason. Where Mad Mardigan is, by the way.
Yeah,
in drag.
cosplaying as a woman. Yeah.
Because this woman's husband's about to turn up.
Yeah, and he needs to be in disguise because he was, bedding the lady.
I would love to see Val Kilmer be told, right, okay, you ain't got your lines. What we're doing, you pretend to be a
You're
woman
dressing up as a woman.
because a mad husband's about to
Yeah.
walk through a door. It's like, okay.
And you know what? He did very well at outliving that.
well.
Did very well at outliving that.
Very
But
well.
You know what? It's fancy. You don't
Yes.
know their physiology.
Yeah.
I don't know how high you can jump. It's whatever. Maybe Wllow can jump loads up in
Possibly.
the air.
Possibly.
Maybe the brownies can leap hundreds of feet. It doesn't matter. Maybe they're all 1,000 feet tall and 1,000 feet wide. It doesn't matter because it's fantasy.
Yeah. So they find Mad Mardigan again,
Yes.
who helps them eventually escape from whatever the evil. I don't know what they're called.
What the sort of the soldiers arrive.
Yeah, the evil soldiers.
The troopers arrive of the
School mask man.
Yeah, he looks good.
looks
When
great.
he walked onto his school like General Kane or something,
Yeah.
and he's Kale or whatever.
Yeah.
He arrives and I'm like, my God, it's Skeletor.
Shao Kahn.
Yeah, exactly. Shao Kahn. You suck. Shao Kahn has arrived. I love that armor, by the way. That is like,
really
why
good.
did that fancy armor never get anywhere?
No.
Why is it just in this film? I saw that guy, so I'm like, oh my God, that guy looks awesome.
Well, I saw it and I thought, is that guy a skeleton? But it's his helmet. I was like, okay, it's a man.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, it's a man.
I thought, what, they could have done that if that
Yeah.
exactly was like a Shao Kahn type guy.
But-
Will die.
Yeah, they turn up and
He looks like a better Shao Kahn than the Shao Kahn at
Yes.
the end of the 1990s Mortal Kombat
Yes.
film. You should have got that helmet because the Shao Kahn turn up there looked crap. He looked like a sort of rubber-faced man. He goes, "You fools! I've come for your souls."
Yes.
And then Raiden goes, "I don't think so." And they all do the pose, do, and then that's the end of the film.
Yeah.
But they should have just got that guy. They should have got General Kale to be Shao Kahn. Also, he's played by the guy that plays the big Nazi in Indiana Jones. Did you know that?
No.
The one that gets killed by the rotor blade to the plane. That's that guy. So General Kale is sent out by Queen I never get her name right. Bavmorda and her daughter, who is also fighting for the sort of evil empire.
Yes.
She sends them out to find this baby and complete the ritual.
Yeah.
So there you go. Off they go.
Yep, they find it in the tavern, and then Mad Mardigan
They have
helps
to do
them
that.
escape.
They did a pretty cool chase. I do like that chase on the
a good
Hawk
chase.
cart chase, where he's like where Willow's trying to grab the reins of the horse, but they like slip out and he's having to crawl under them, and then they take a knock and Willow's like knocks forward and he flies forward onto one of the horses and he has to grab the. I really like that. I like the whole scene of the chase scene where. By the way, I just want to mention this.
Yep.
I noticed this firsthand.
Yes.
The combat choreography in Wllow, not really the best.
It's not great.
It's not kind of. I understand in medieval fighting. What do you know about medieval swordplay? Any experience?
I watch Shadowversity.
Right. Have you seen that video where the guy goes, "How does the grass taste, little man?"
No.
And then he hits the sword hits the shield into the guy's face, and he falls down onto the floor.
I've not seen that.
Well, I'll show you that after this. Then.
Okay. I'm okay when it comes to medieval combat, kind of. Not
Okay.
Really.
You don't like LARP.
I watch Shadowversity, who talks about medieval combat, and Scallygram, who's also a guy who talks about medieval weapons. But they don't do
They don't talk about sort of combat styles.
No.
Because in this, it's a lot of hacking and slashing. It's a lot of push the guy over and hit him. There was one sequence in the end, because I love what I do is, in big battle sequences, I don't like to watch the main character. I like to watch what are the people behind him doing.
Yep.
And there was one sequence when General Kale is fighting Mad Mardigan, and there's two guys in the background who are doing the same move to each other over and over, without end.
You say
They're
that.
just going, block, hit, block, hit, over and over again, quite quickly.
You say
and I'm watching that, like, these guys are like locked in Mortal Kombat.
I think the best example of the not so great combat is spoilers. Right at the end of the film, I'm going to skip to the end of this point just to explain this because it makes sense.
Don't worry, I just did.
Where the two sorcerers are fighting each other.
Yeah.
And it's in this battle scene. I think it's like just after Mad Mardigan super kicked a troll.
He did super
He hops and goes, pow!
He did super kick the troll. He did super kick the troll. I was going to bring it up as well. He totally did super kick the troll. And even when that happened, I legitimately said out loud, I said, super kick party.
Yeah.
He just super kicked the
There's
troll.
a little hop, kicks it, and I think immediately after that, it cuts to this one, like, the good sorceress just going, pow, pow, just punching the other one in the face. I'm like, what is going on? Who choreographed
There are elements
this?
of such just fun fantasy hilarity to this.
There is,
that I will
because, like,
never understand, but I never want to question.
The troll gets turned into an egg, which
Right.
gets thrown in the water, which
troll-
gets turned into like a
The
hydra.
trolls, who are kind of like these sort of Planet of the Apes style monkeys, don't
Yeah.
look anything like conventional trolls. They're climbing on the wall. I only thought it was some kind of big spider at first when it turned up. But no, this big kind of orc troll monkey thing, like gorilla thing turns
Yeah.
up. It's like, oh my god, this guy. And then Warwick uses his wand. This is the end of the film as well. Well, what part of the end of the film? Because there's like 3 massive ending sequences of this film, isn't
Yeah,
there?
there
And because it goes on for like 2 hours and a half. Then he uses his wand on it.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, he's going to make it like disappear or
Yep.
something. No, he turns him into like a shriveled. There's a lot of, I don't want to say the phrase body horror.
Yeah.
But there's quite a bit of
There is.
mutation.
There is.
And people's faces and bodies turn into pigs, which was legitimately terrifying
Yes.
for young children. It's like that Dark Crystal
Yeah.
level of sort of. It's not actively unsettling, but it's like unsettling in a way that
Yeah.
if you think about it and if you like watch it with any level of detail, it
Yeah.
becomes unsettling.
Yeah, I mean, it
It's
turns...
the 80s. The 1980s was literally the era of
Correct.
fantasy films which scare the crap out of you.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, he turns it into an egg.
Not like an egg, like
No.
a fleshy,
Yeah.
red, pulpy mess of an egg.
Throws it in the water.
Slops over the
Yeah.
slops over the boardwalk they're standing on. Falls into the water.
And then comes
Which I
back.
thought was acid, because I thought it was burning him initially. Falls into the water or acid.
Yeah.
And then turns into a big 2-headed dragon monster
Yeah.
that spits fire and has.
It's just, I don't know why it's got 2 heads. It has.
And it shoots fire, sure thing.
And it blows up.
And it blows up. Its head blows up. Even though it looks like the stop motion model is fantastic, I will say it does look like it's really there.
It's great. There's a lot of weird stuff.
There are parts of some of the chroma keying and some of the
Yeah.
stop motion don't look
You know
fantastic.
what? One
but
part of that massive
it's the
fight scene
80s.
at
I'll
the end,
forgive it. Yeah, go on.
That's
Not
really-
the part where he super kicks the troll.
No. That's really cool. And I actually really enjoyed it. It's the part where it's Mad Mardigan who's fighting Schoolman.
Yeah, school man.
And he like chops his helmet and like part of the skull cracks off.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's great. And obviously, and immediately I'm thinking, that's a cool shot. He's alive, so he turns his head, and it just looks really weird, because like his mouth's here, but his skull's here.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, great,
It's kind of
okay, now it's goofy again.
mangled in a way, yeah. I think that was the part where I was looking at the 2 guys behind him who were just
Yeah.
doing the same fight motion over and over again.
And also, spoiler, Eric dies and has possibly the worst death I think I've seen on screen. He's just lying there.
What was he done? Was he shot by an arrow? Was he shot? I think he was killed
got
by
stabbed.
Skullman, wasn't
He got stabbed by Skullman. He's lying there and he goes, "Win this war for me." And that's all he says.
He goes,
Yeah.
I think he just literally falls down and does
He
make
does,
that
yeah.
noise. He goes like, win this war. He's holding Mad Mardigan. He goes, like that. I'm like, okay.
Saying that, how the Skullman dies, it's very cool and more graphic than I thought it would be.
Right, go on.
Because they're fighting at top, there's a sword like on the floor, like
Yeah.
angled upwards, and so Mad Mardigan just kind of grabs him by the arm and like falls backwards and just pulls him on top of the sword. I'm like, Jesus.
This is a film with the little happy Warren Davis in it, running around with a little, on a
Yeah.
pony.
I'm like, okay, that's sure.
The graphic tone is very much so. However, we do get that final battle after the Queen turns everyone into pigs. We'll skip over that bit. And I thought that was the very disturbing.
It's very weird and very horrifying because it's very real. It's
yes,
weird.
it is.
Which is quick. Yeah,
Got
that's
him.
right. Yeah, no.
Oh, you people, listeners, if you've not paid attention to that we've had a fly going around the studio, and I've just clapped it to death. No, it's not. There you are. Got you.
There we go.
Vanquished him. So like I'm the fancy hero now. I've defeated the little fly or whatever it's called.
Might have
the
been a
evil
brownie
fly.
on that.
Exactly. Oh well, I've just slapped him to death. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Yeah, the pig bit was weird. It's really weird.
Mm.
There's also the part where the woman is like a possum, and then there's a crow.
Oh yeah.
there's a goat.
The witch, the female sorceress.
Yeah.
Was she was turned into a like a tree.
She's a
possum by the queen.
Yep.
And
then
then
Warwick
she
turns into a crow or
he's
a
trying
raven.
to turn into a human form, but he can't get it right
Yes.
because he's not a great sorcerer. So he's turning her into a crow, then a goat,
Yes, and then a woman.
then a woman, then an old woman.
Yes.
When she said she was a young woman.
Yes.
So
She didn't quite get that.
didn't quite get there. She got aged up. Then she fights. Then she fights the queen and punches her in the face.
Yeah.
Did
the jump scare bit get you? Because I knew
what jump scare bit?
Because there's a part where she thinks she's dead, she's passed away. So she lifts up the veil, and the queen goes like queen just screams in her face. And I'm assuming it's supposed to be
a jump scare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas for anyone who's watched film, it's kind of telegraphed.
You know it's coming.
Yeah.
When someone's lying down dead, and you're like, "Oh, is she dead?"
Yeah.
I'm gonna just turn her over slowly. She's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, she's making a scary face." Shout him.
I know people retrospectively. I'm in a group on Facebook. That's all.
Where's this going? Where's this going, Corey?
It's all for people who get tattoos.
Right.
Right.
Well, this is going. Where's this going?
Well, someone in there because recently, I saw a thing and someone went, "Oh, I'm getting a tattoo from a TV show." I went, "Oh, okay, cool," and I passed it by.
Right.
Turns out it was a mark from Wllow.
Oh, well, nice.
So I went back on it, and I'm like, there's so many people in this group who watched this growing up. I'm thinking, how were you not how can you watch this now? How have you not watched this as a child and never touched it again? Because if I was a kid and watched
You were
this,
scarred for life.
I would be horrified if I watched it
Yeah.
as a kid. Yeah. No chance.
That's why some people. There's a YouTuber called Odd Ones Out. If you've ever heard of him, he's called James.
The animation guy.
Yeah, and he
Yes.
did a video on Dark Crystal, on the original film. And he did one on Netflix as well.
Yeah.
But he did one on the original film, and he mentioned this. He mentioned when you're younger, and especially that time in the 80s, where it was perfectly legal to make an absolutely horrifying film where loads of people turn into pigs and there's giant lizard birds walking around and crumbling to death. It just becomes this sort of very sort of pseudo horror genre of this is a kids film, but it's designed to scare your children straight. You know, they'll be scared of magic after this, don't you worry.
Which, as a kid, would have worked. As an adult, I quite like it.
Yeah, as an adult, you're like, well, this is kind of sweet. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Part of this was me marveling at the fact they got away with this kind of thing. Like, this is. They say, you know, maybe there was always talk of the era where sort of PG actually meant parental guidance and didn't mean, you know, practically G. We basically, you know, someone gets punched and someone gets kicked. This is kind of actually your parents may watch this and think, you know what, I don't think little Timmy needs to see this.
Yeah.
The bit where the guy's face morphs into a pig.
Yeah.
You know, there's elements of that.
There's definitely parts of that. The thing is as well, obviously I said it's made in the 80s. The effects in this they've aged
Some
well.
of them haven't aged great.
No, but in a weird way, it's kind of charming.
The pot gets lasered by the thing and turns into
I forgot the pot turns
something-
into a weird spider thing.
a weird spider dog
Forgot about that.
that reminded me for some reason of that episode of Black Mirror.
I love the fact that obviously Willow's supposed to be the hero, and he
Yes.
doesn't do anything to stop the queen except for the bit at the end, which isn't even him.
Yeah.
So all he does is he defeats a table.
He defeats the table. I am the table.
Man.
He defeats the table.
Yeah.
The table. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
He just bumbles through these situations.
Yeah, all he does is defeat the table and then tricks the queen enough for her to then get electrocuted by something.
No, by her own lightning, by the way. It's her
Yeah.
own lightning that defeats her. Because she summons the lightning to sacrifice the baby.
Yes.
But Wllow comes out and says, "You want the baby, Queen? I've got the baby right here." And
Yeah.
he goes to show it to her. She's like, give me the baby. But instead, she gets zapped by her own lightning and her sort of
Well, he does the weird
eyes
pig trick
turn red
from
or
earlier.
whatever. Yeah, the pig trick
where
she
it
makes the pig
disappears.
disappear, yeah.
And then she's like, "Oh, where's it gone?" And blah, and it's like a red mist goes around her, and she electrocutes herself.
Yeah, then shoots herself away, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Then Wllow is the hero.
Correct.
He saved the world.
Yes.
He saved Mother World. And Mad Mardigan's there, and the old sorceress is there, and the brownies, the two brownies are there, the two little brownie guys, and the Queen's daughter is there as well. I don't know. I remember what her name is.
No, I don't either.
She was a good character.
She was.
I think didn't she get? I was about to say about that. Warwick Davis isn't first billed for this film. Warwick Davis doesn't get top billing for this film. It's someone else.
It wouldn't. I don't know who it would be, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Just look into that, and I'll keep talking. There's And then he's given the hero's send-off on his pony. He gets to ride back to his village where his wife, Kira, and all of his friend Migosh are all there. They all embrace, have a big hug, and they zoom out to the valley and the peaceful land that Wllow is now saved. And then that's the end.
Val Kilmer is top
Val
billed.
Kilmer's top billing, right, okay. Well, he's not in the film very much.
No. No, he's not.
Maybe they didn't want to bank.
Second half he is.
Yeah, maybe they didn't want to bank on Warwick Davis not being a household name.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Wllow came out today, Warwick Davis on the front cover, get him on there.
Well, the issue with that is, like, now we are.
Now there's a TV show. I
Yes.
tell you, Warwick Davis is first build, and he does have the poster.
He does. We are gonna review the TV show. We both haven't seen any of it yet.
No.
So we're going to start watching it. However, I am fully expecting myself to not enjoy it as much as the film.
Really?
I do not think
I'm
going
to
see. I don't think I'm going to see a table get turned into real life
with legs.
I'm not going to see a troll form two heads.
No.
I'm not going to see a man shout at a troll and super kick it off of a building.
No.
Unfortunately not. I'm not going to see really bad special and practical effects, which I love because it's charming as anything.
It is charming.
It's gonna. I swear, if it looks polished, I'm gonna hate it.
Oh, and you know it will look
I
polished.
want it to look naff. I want it to look like bad 80s CGI, with obviously green screened on.
Bad 80s CGI, yeah. Stop motion
Yeah.
creatures, something like that. So obviously something that's like a model and not CG. We want more of that.
Like,
we want weird sort of blue chroma key around the wand, so it looks really.
Well, like all the brownies are is people on a green screen that have just been like shrunk.
Yeah,
Like,
and they have
software.
and they have absolutely no proportion.
It's just been shrunk and just placed on top of a tree somewhere, and that'll do.
Yeah, or on top of like a table.
Yeah,
and then like jump out and
It's please, that's all I want.
Okay, I think we've almost had levels perhaps too much fun with this film's review. But what would you give it?
You know what? I wasn't expecting much with this. I thought, you know what, it would be okay. It would be an enjoyable film, and I'll have a decent time. And as much as I didn't expect to enjoy this, I fell in love with this film. I absolutely adore this movie. It's so charming in such a weird way, and it's fun. I love fantasy. Right?
Yeah.
You're more of a sci-fi guy. I love me some fantasy. And I love the fact this isn't just hero, accomplishes thing, cool. Wllow, like I said, practically does not much. He does enough, but he doesn't...
He does enough to get he's enough to get by as the hero.
Enough to get by, not too much where like, that's a bit much. That's a bit of a stretch. I love this film. It was so fun. To the point where I was like, I didn't make any notes because I was just too busy watching the movie.
Yeah, aren't you glad I recommended it now, eh? Gave you the nod to watch it.
So I'm gonna give it's very high from me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how high do I go.
Okay.
Because it's definitely at least a 9.
Okay.
It could be a 9.5, and on some days in a stretch it could get a 10.
I'm gonna give it a 9. Now, if I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna give it a 9. If you give it a 9.5 or a 10, I will back you. I'll back you 100%.
Yeah, what? I'll give it a 10.
Oh, this is a big round of applause here, people.
It now means that in the Real Show Hall of Fame,
congratulations, Wllow.
Of things that have a 10, 3 of them are mine, and 1 of them is yours. You've got Rogue One, the first one. To be fair, I've only recommended 110, which is School of Rock. Visions and this got 10, but that was a review.
That's 3 out of 4 Lucasfilm properties, so you must be doing something right, George.
Yeah, but there's so much he's done as well.
Yeah, it's true.
Sometimes it's going to be a hit.
Wllow has got 10 reels. I feel like we need to sit here for a minute and just kind of consider that.
The thing is with that is now, I know for a fact I'm going to watch a TV show and be like, this is awful. It's only down.
This is not only does this show that Corey very much loves the film, obviously, but also that his expectations are very high for the series.
I'm not going to.
You always sound like you're expecting to let yourself down, Corey.
I don't think it's going to be a 10.
Why not?
I don't know. If it was filmed in the 80s and it lacked all of its charm, it'd be great. But I don't know if it's going to have that. I don't know. If there's throwbacks, like there's a table, which is the exact same table, so it got turned into real life.
You see it run across the screen.
Yeah, or something. Like if there's weird callback, cool. Because again, I know nothing about a TV show. Yeah. I'm assuming everyone in the film for the most part. I know Warwick Davis is in the TV show.
Yes, he
I know
is.
the baby is in the TV show because
Yes.
she's grown up now, I believe. I'm assuming that Mad Morgan's in it because he took the kid at the end of the film. He raises the baby
Yes.
with the daughter of the
Queen.
Yeah. So I'm assuming they're in it. And
I know the old guard's in it, the guard is in it because I've seen his picture on one of the thumbnails of the series when I was looking it up.
I'm assuming maybe the like old shaman might not be because Wllow might now not be an apprentice and
he
he might
be
now
the
be in
sorcerer.
charge.
Yeah, and there's new characters obviously.
Yeah.
The guy that plays Flash.
Willow's got kids, so I assume we're going to be in it.
The guy that plays Flash from Spider-Man is in this, as well as the person who's in everything. Can you? I know who she plays. Can you mind looking her up? She was in Falcon and Winter Soldier. She was also in Solo.
Right.
She played Emphas Nest. She's got sort of ginger hair and quite freckly. She's in this as well, I believe.
Played by. Who's she played by? Give me a.
That's another fly. We've got like 3 of them around. Little brownies, man.
Erin Kellyman.
Erin Kellyman, yeah. You might want to just search her IMDb for a minute. Because she turns up in Wllow as well, so I'm happy to see her. She's very hot right now.
Yes.
I'm happy to see her getting more roles and more prominence.
Yes, she's in it.
Yeah, of course. Oh, so we will happily watch that series and
we are
see
watching
if it lives up to Corey's reputation of the first film.
I'm going to be sat there.
But
I'm just going to be like,
Yes. But now on to the weekly rec.
Yes, it's your
after
turn.
Our star rating of Wllow. My goodness.
Beat that. Go on.
Beat that. Exactly. I don't think I can.
Step
I'll
up.
see if I can. I'll step up. This is.
Give us a magic trick.
I thought I'm going to make this pig disappear. No, I'm going to do. You know what? I thought the one where he stuck the stick through his arm was cooler than the pig. Sorry.
Also,
where he puts a log around, so he sets it on fire.
Yeah.
And he sets the stick on fire. And he sticks it through. I'm like, wow, that's cool. He sticks it through his arm. Amazing.
by the way, Chekhov's acorn. 10 out of 10.
Yes. 10 out of 10 on Chekhov's acorn, I think.
This acorn would turn into stone, and it does.
It turns the plank to stone. He has 3.
Turns the woman to stone at
Turns
the
the
end.
woman to stone as well, but it doesn't work.
Yes. Good old Chekhov's acorn.
Chekhov's acorn. That's when I stop calling it now. This is. I was thinking I need to get something that has Warwick Davis in it.
Correct.
If I don't have something that has Davis in it, I'm going to do a disservice to the weekly rec, to be honest.
Yes.
So this is something that has Warwick Davis in it. This is something that not many people know about.
Okay.
This is something that Warwick Davis did when he was very young, when he was around Return of the Jedi time. This is Return of the Ewok. Have you heard of Return of the Ewok?
No.
Give it a Google for me. This came out with one of the DVD specials of Return of the Jedi as a little in their feature.
Can I point out that Marie just said, George Lucas, you must be doing something right. And is now talking about this.
Return of the Ewok, yeah. This is one of the things you mentioned a lot of words when you were talking about Wllow, but one of them that you said was charming.
Okay.
And this is a very charming little short film. This is about half an hour, and
is it higher? Yes, it is.
Is mainly comprised of Warwick Davis as himself,
Yes.
young little Warwick Davis, going around looking for a role in Star Wars, where he runs into Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill and
I've seen clips
Carrie
of this.
Fisher and Dave Prowse as Darth Vader.
I did not know that was what it was
And
called.
Boba Fett. That's what it's called. This is what it's called. It's Return of the Ewok. It's on YouTube, the whole thing. It's free. You can go and watch it yourself.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a nice 8 out of 10 because
Okay.
I'm a big fan of Warwick Davis. This is cool to see one of his first little roles in this. Obviously linked to his first ever role, which was Wicket.
You've given it higher than all of the rating services I have in front of me right now.
Really?
IMDb gives it a 6 out of 10.
Oh.
Whatever. I
thought it was cute. I thought it was a bit funny.
RateYourMusic.com.
All right.
That's but for the film or the sound. Well, the soundtrack got 2.4 out of 5. No, 1.6 out of 5.
Oh.
Letterbox is a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
Well, 2.9 out
Well,
of 5.
I'm a fan of Warwick Davis. I think this is a cute little special, really harmless. And I think it's just a nice, cute little thing. Very charming, as you always said.
Yeah.
As you said. By the way, I was inundated with Warwick Davis stuff. Literally, I was going to recommend Tenable. I was like, I was going to recommend one of the Leprechaun films. I was going to recommend.
Yeah, I forgot he's in that.
Leprechaun 6, Leprechaun in the Hood, or whatever it's called.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, literally. Yeah, you look up the Leprechaun films. I was going to recommend the Doctor Who episode he was in. He was in a Doctor Who episode where he plays like a fighter pilot or something like that.
Who goes Leprechaun in the Hood and goes, yes.
It's real. It's real, Corey.
That's what we're going to call it.
And there's another one that's called Leprechaun returns to the Hood or comes back to the Hood or something like that, isn't it?
Great.
There's like 8 Leprechaun films, and White Davis just does it because he thinks it's fun. He likes playing the Leprechaun, so there you go.
Yeah.
There was another film where he plays like a guy that goes around on stilts, which I think is quite funny.
Okay.
There's another film that he does with Vincent Schiavelli. It's quite funny because if you know who Vincent Schiavelli is, he's quite tall actor. And they have like a little comedy duo thing, which is fun. But yeah, I had to recommend Return of the Ewok. I think it's A, the start of his Star Wars journey, and B, just the start of Warwick Davis's film career. This really should go out as an ode to him.
3 out of 5 stars. Face it, guys. The Ewoks suck.
The Ewoks don't suck.
No, they
I've
don't.
come round on the Ewoks, I think. I think people...
Did you just like them at the start?
What?
Because you said you've come round on them.
Yes, I've come round to Ewoks. When I initially watched Return of the Jedi, I thought, oh, these teddy bears. Oh, they suck, these little teddy bears with sticks. Beating stormtroopers.
And then you learned they were cannibals, but yes.
And then I realised, you know what? The Ewoks go hard.
Yeah.
There was that point where the Ewok is like dual-wielding E11 blasters. Did you see that is existing? There's an Ewok with like a stormtrooper gun, and I'm like, yes. They're driving ATSTs. They're, you know, flying speeder bikes. The Ewoks go hard. I was like, that's why I've come around on the Ewoks. I love them now. I love them now. I think they're great. They eat people. The Ewoks are eating people. They're going to cook Han Solo. Go hard. We hope you enjoyed this review of Wllow.
Correct.
We'll come at you with a series review sometime in the future.
Yep.
But for now, it's a goodbye from me. Goodbye. And a goodbye from Corey.
Goodbye.
Super Kick Control.